Well, hello everyone. Um, I'm about to do dinner for everyone, my family. Man, I'm making enough soup so that my husband can have enough to take with him to work. So I'm just going to show you that here is a pot on the stove, right? It's a huge pot, yes. And I'm going to be making chicken soup today. So I'll be using drumsticks chicken today to make the soup. Yes, I'll be using drumsticks to make the soup. And going to add I'm also going to add to my soup some seafood mix with mussel, squid, shrimp, octopus, and some crabs are in there as well. And I'm going to add it to the soup to make me a beautiful, rich soup. I'm about to start. So this is the rich, beautiful looking pumpkin. I've got my Irish potatoes. I've got my turnips. I've got my chayote, or in Jamaica we say chocha. And I have my carrots. That is going to be in my soup. So now I'm going to be preparing these. I'm going to be preparing these so you all can see what I'm about to do today. So let me grab my container to do this so you can see as I go along how I prepare my food. As I always said to you guys, I love, and I mean love cooking for my family. Don't have a very big family. So what I'm doing here, I'm cleaning off my carrots because we don't peel them. We don't want to take off too much of what is outside. I'm scraping these off and I'm going to be washing them after. So here we go. And just taking off the bottom here and here, and then I'm going to be doing, kind of scraping these off. I have the other thing to scrape it, but I'm old school, so I'm just using my knife because it's doing the same thing that the other thing would have done, and so I'm just trying to get through doing this. So yes, and so I'm just scraping them off and I'm going to be washing them shortly. So come along with me. And peeling the turnips now, peeling the turnips as well, because I'm doing all of this, and I'm going to be washing everything underneath the pipe. You can wash them before if you want, but then you still got to go back through the process of washing them even, because you want your stuff, whatever kind of chemical or germs that is on there, you don't want it to come onto your food. And so this is what I'm doing here. I'm showing you, I'm peeling my turnips, and after peeling my turnips, I'll be peeling my chayote. So one thing you need to know when you're using chayote in chicken soup or pumpkin soup, do not use a whole chayote, because sometimes it does supersedes the flavor of the soup and take away from it. I've learned that back when my mom used to teach me to cook, or my sister who is no longer around. she would teach me how to cook these things. So pretty much what I'm doing, I'm just kind of peeling everything. So I'm just going to use a half of the chayote, or maybe I might use 3/4, because I don't want it to overpower the soup. You know, it can sometimes overpower the soup and take away, you know, from the real rich flavor of the soup. And so I'm peeling the chayote, as you can see right now. And so here we go. Now we're going to clean out inside here, this thing. Some persons cook it with it, but for me, don't love that middle piece in there. So I'm just going to use another small piece from this one. So instead of me using half, since as it's such a bigger pot of soup that I'm doing, I am going to be using a little more, looking like 3/4 of a chayote or chocho. And so that way, you know, flavors can be balanced a bit. So there we go. Now this is the Irish potato. I'm going to be peeling the Irish potatoes as you go along. There we go. And guys, this knife is very sharp, so I gotta be careful it doesn't cut me. But this is what I'm doing. So there we go. And so for the Irish potato, it's up to you. You can use 3, 4, 5, 6. It's up to you how you want to use it, right? And so I'm just using 3 because I'm also going to be cooking larger pieces into the soup to be eaten as a food, right? To be eaten just normally. And so, yes, this is what I'm doing here. Yes, there we go. And we are 2 down. We need to have 1 to go. And so this is my Irish, 3rd piece of Irish. So this menu I am showing you, it is something that I've always done when I'm cooking. I've always cooked mostly with chicken, or Jamaican, who knows, I use chicken feet, the feet of the chicken, right? We're not so much into too much of a red meat, and so some people would use all the ingredients I'm using like to make a beef soup, but I'm not doing beef soup, right? I am doing chicken soup. And so yes, now I am going to be, this is a large piece of pumpkin, and so I am going to be using about 3/4 of it, right, as you can see. So there we go. So I'm going to be using this piece, which is the bigger piece, and I'm going to be putting away this small piece, that in case, you know, I'm just cooking for my husband and myself, I have this to use. And so what I do, I clean out the inside of it. Now, as you all know, I'm in Minnesota, and if I was in Florida or Georgia or one of those warm states, this seed of the pumpkin I would be planting, because this in Jamaica we call curry pumpkin. It's rich and red and nice. Now this is good quality pumpkin. Sometimes you get them here, and I got these at the Oriental food store in Brooklyn Park. For those of you who are in Minnesota and watching this video, in Brooklyn Park at Sun Foods. And so yes, I'm always getting good quality pumpkin there. In America, a lot of people call it squash, but this is this is pumpkin. As you can see, it's completely somewhat different from squash, because I see some, this is what I know from my country back home, that this is called pumpkin. So some people cook the pumpkin with the skin on it, but I really don't like cooking with the skin on it, so I always take the skin off the pumpkin. So I'm peeling this, yes. So as I go along, I just mix them into smaller pieces, because what happens is that when I do this, I normally just cook, cut them in pieces like these, not the very fine pieces, because while it's cooked, I can take it out and crush it. You will see what I'm going to be doing, because I will be taking you along on the journey of cooking this chicken soup with you know, some seafood mix, so you can understand what I'm saying. So travel along with me on this journey. So here we go. And so as you can see, our pot is there on already boiling with water. Yeah, and I'm just thinking that I might just use all of this pumpkin. You know, I can use all of it because I have another whole one that I purchased as well. So I think I might just use all of this pumpkin, so I can have my soup rich and, you know, thick and yellow and nice, as we Jamaican love to have it. So for some people, their traditional dinner is rice and beans with other stuff. But for me, for us, we don't fall for that traditional stuff anymore, because sometimes we're just tired of rice or stuff like that. So it's something to change up the menu, to kind of make it more palatable. Not that the other foods are not palatable, but you just get tired of it, and you just want something different. So for us, my family and I, we want some chicken soup with seafood mix this week, as this is a meal that I'm always doing for my family. So, you know, so as you can see in my container, we have the pumpkin, we have the chocho or the chayote, we have the Irish potatoes, we have the turnips, and we have the carrots. So I'm about to wash them, but before I do need to clear this off, because for me, really, I really don't like to see dirty place. So here I go again. I want to put another piece of pumpkin in it, because when you put more pumpkin in the soup, it's rich and thick and nice, and you know, it's filling, so to speak. And in this soup, in Jamaica, we have a type of yam that is called yellow yam. I'll be using yellow yam. I'll be using the yam that they call soft yam. And for some Jamaicans, they don't use sweet potato in this soup. They only use it in peas soup. But for me, I do cook sweet potatoes in my soup, because my kids love it, I love it, and my husband love it as well. So that's the reason why we're kind of going that route today. So I'm just pulling the pumpkin, getting off the skin and all of that, and I'm about getting ready to wash these now. My bin is right here, so what I do, I just scrape off into my bin here like that. And yes, I'm going to be cleaning off my counter, because I don't like dirty place. So a few of the seeds fell on the ground, fell on the ground while I was putting it into the bin. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just cleaning up, because once something drop on the floor, I'm gonna clean it up immediately. I don't want to wait. Don't want anyone come stepping in it and all of that. So yeah, so that's it there. And so what I'm doing right now, I'm just cleaning up my work area, clean up as I go along, you know, and that's what I'm doing, because that way, yep, there we go. Don't want any messy stuff to be all over the place. I have a problem if I see dirt or anything. It's kind of difficult for me to really and truly not clean up. Yeah, and so I have some things in my sink that I just put to drain. I'm just gonna take them out, so that way I'm able to let you see me washing the, you know, my vegetables that I'm gonna be putting in my soup. So yes, so I'm taking out these pots that I did drain, that I used to make breakfast this morning, and I'm kind of transferring these to a different location. So as you can see, moving over to the sink, and I'm about to wash these vegetables. So along with me, and turning around, washing my vegetables after they're cleaned up, washing them from here, washing them, just cleaning them off. Go. And just washing off my pumpkin and all of that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm washing my carrots. So now I'm going to use this very container, because the carrots I'll be cutting up into smaller pieces. Yes, the carrots, I'll be cutting up the carrots into smaller pieces. So as you can see, I cut them up in smaller pieces like these, round or square. It all depends. And so sometimes I split them down and just kind of get them smaller, but when we put our stuff together, this is what's going to happen. So here we go. I split my carrots down if they're just too big, because for me, I don't like when they look in the pot with these big old round stuff. No, cut them up nice and neat. Looks more presentable when you put them in the pot, to me. And that is for me. I'm not saying everybody should do this, but this is me, and this is how I do my stuff, right? I could put them on the cutting board, that makes me go faster, but just to show you what I'm doing, doing it like this, you know. And so if as you can see in the container, this is how they look now. You know, I washed them already, and so because I washed them already, kind of not want to go back to the container. So as I told you, I like to split them down in the middle, which is what I've just done, and I'm just cutting them up now to let you see how they are. And I'll be doing the same thing to the chayote and the Irish potatoes. So for me, I don't have any sweet corn today because I forget to get them at the supermarket yesterday. But I have some tin sweet corn. So normally when I forget corn, so that's what I do. I just open a tin or two, wash it off, and just pour it in there. That's a whole sweet corn in the tin, not the other types. Not the pasty looking kind of a thing. As a matter of fact, I really don't use those. So now here's my chayote. I'm cutting them up. You know, I'm gonna slice them down in the middle a little. Just cut them up like that. You know, for those who are chef and who go to school and all of that, those. For me, I got my natural gift of cooking from my mom, and it runs in the family. We love to cook, and because we love to cook, most of the times we barely eat out. As for my husband, the day he found out that I'm able to cook, he really doesn't eat out on the road. He tells me the food is nasty, the food's not clean. You know how some men are who really love home cooked meals. So I can understand where he's coming from. And so here we go now. We're doing the Irish potatoes. We're cutting up the Irish potatoes, guys. So yes, here we go. So what will happen for me and my soup, these small pieces, sometimes they cook out all the way out, but sometimes you find a few pieces in the soup still, you know. And so that's what I do. Yep. Here's the next Irish potato. So here we have 3 Irish potatoes. Making that pot of soup, you want it to be really rich and nice and flavorful. And so here now we're doing the turnip. Doing the turnips, right? For the turnips, we're gonna cut them a bit smaller than how we did the Irish potato. That's for me. Everybody does things differently, but for me, this is how I do my turnips because they're smaller. So I cut them up in smaller chunks, smaller pieces, and you know, get them like that. This one a little bit more. There we go. And if I want, I can cut my pumpkin up as well. I can cut it up just like these, but I'm just gonna cut them in small chunks as I am going to you know, crush them out, let it cook, and then crush it out so it will give me that nice rich color and flavorful thick soup. So here's the pumpkin. So I told you I was going to cut them up. I'm going to cut them up in small chunks like that. So there we go. Not very fine, but in small chunks, since I'm going to take them out of the pot after they are cooked, and I'm gonna crush them. Okay. This is already pretty much in a small chunks, but I just want to give it like that since it's that thick. Because there we go. 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 Go into that, and you know, we can do a few pieces like this if you want, just to make it look colorful when you're doing your stuff. So one thing I'll teach you also is that whenever you're making soup or anything, make sure that whatever you're doing, you're not putting in your food into the water before it starts boiling. For me, what it does many times that people don't know, as a young girl, when I was just learning to cook, I would have put the vegetable in the pot before it starts boiling. What that does, it causes a lot of froth, as you say, on top of it. It doesn't look presentable or anything like that. So that's the reason why I told you I'm doing what I'm doing, you know. And so guys, as you can see, so this is what is going to go into the pot. It's, as you can see, the steam coming up. Look guys, it's boiling up. You see the steam coming through the pot, right? So now we're going to put our vegetable that we prepare into the pot for it to go ahead and cook. I'm also going to be cleaning up the chicken and to put into the pot as well. So here we go. We're putting stuff into the pot like that, right? Put your stuff in, your pumpkin in, and your carrots and everything. You just put them into the pot. Remember, we washed them already. You just cut them up and put them back into the pot. There we go. And then, as you can see, we have our chicken already, and we have our miscellany, our seafood mix. So what I'm going to be doing, even though the pot is boiling, I'm going to put that in. I'm going to wash the seafood mix first and put that into the pot. I'll put my chicken in at later because I don't want it to cook out too much, and then you can find a nice piece of chicken to put in someone's plate with the soup, because we Jamaicans, well, most of us like to see meat in our plate even though it's in the pot. So tag along with me. Why is all my camera not working? With a wider view. I'll be right back. I need to